posting here on YouTube, but I'll be getting back to you a little bit down the road, showing you what I have been working on. But listen, we have a partial solar eclipse coming up here on the 12th or the 13th, all depending on where you're living. And for those of you who are in the path of this solar eclipse, you might get lucky to see it. There's nothing more powerful than our eclipses. They really just fling open up doors for us that we can all take delight in, right? And then also I'm posting our total lunar eclipse that will be showing up on the 27th or the 28th later this month of July, and you want to go and listen to that too, because the difference between a solar eclipse and a lunar eclipse is that solar eclipses open up doors for us, right? New chapters, and it is like a normal new moon, but it's on steroids, right? Because it's powerfully infused here with the eclipse, and normally a new moon lasts for a month. Eclipses last, and they empower us for 6 months on end. So depending on where you got your solar eclipse, that is where it's going to be showing up in your own personal chart. And the lunar eclipse, what does that do? Well, it kind of shuts doors. Sometimes we need it. We get a kick in the butt that we might need just to close off certain chapters that are just laying around, draining our energies and so forth. And so sometimes we just need to say goodbye to certain circumstances, people or events in our life that's just holding us down or back. So listen to that video to see where that might just show up for you in your life. But let's talk about this solar eclipse. As you can see from the diagram, this will be showing up much more than what the lunar eclipse will be, for most of us anyway. This is a partial solar eclipse. The one on August 11th will supersede this one. It's going to be stronger, right? But we have this opening, and we got one in the following months. We are lucky, and it will take place 20 degrees in the sign of Cancer. So you Cancerians, you're going to feel it, right? It's really going to open up these doors for you. And all the water signs will also equally feel by a trine aspect, a golden trine aspect. For any of you, a Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, 20 degrees, whether you have your sun, moon, or your any other planets, will be affected by this. So what is it going to do? Well, since it's in the sign of Cancer, it opens up also very creative and intuitive doors. So starting anything new, if you have been working on a project, this could be a time to launch it. Even though, yes, we have a few retrogrades going on, and we'll talk about that too. But the eclipse will still have the power to stay with us for 6 months. So even if you don't start right away here in July, you will still have ample time to do so. And for Scorpions and Pisces, yes, you have both Jupiter and Neptune there. So these are going to be kind of stimulated all together, Jupiter for expansion and Neptune for vision and so forth. So you will be feeling it in the days prior, leading up to the solar eclipse on the 12th, that these energies are being stirred. Your imagination, your creativity, your mental expansion will be taking place, and it's all priming you for what will take place there on the 12th. What is really empowering here is there is a challenge, but it's also empowering. Why? Because we have Pluto on the opposite end, and it is a direct hit. What happens when we have the sun, moon, and Pluto in opposition here? So Pluto's all about transformation. It really digs to the deepest core of our being. Look at what needs to go. Look at what needs to start. I feel a lot of you have been working on really wanting now to shed and get on with new aspects of your life. And we're not just talking for you water signs, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. It goes for all of us, all right? And I know some of you born in the other signs are kind of sitting and waiting, hoping that your signs will be mentioned. We'll get back to that. Right now, I'm not doing all of your 12 signs. What we're looking at is the aspects of and how this is going to collectively affect all of us. So when the sun, moon is conjunct and it's opposite Pluto, we're looking into the core of our essence, of our being, and so forth. Sometimes this can be very emotional, because it is super important. Anything that Pluto touches in those depths will be felt. This can happen on a conscious level, internally. It can happen on an external level. Some of you might just find yourselves in some very deep conversations, processing, trying to get beyond or also rise above certain situation, but not just any situation. It's what is at core for the most important in your life, what Pluto is trying now to transform. And we always want to think about Pluto as the magician creator in those senses. It's a dwarf planet, doesn't even have a status as a planet anymore. I think that is so wrong, and I think all astrologers can agree with me on that. But the power of this tiny itty bitty little dwarf planet is one of the most important transformational energies that we have in ourselves. It really does signify death and rebirth. What is dying? What is rebirthing? Where is it we want to take ourselves into our future, right? So I feel this day can really fling open doors. Look at the opportunities that are taking place. What have you been striving towards? What goals have you been holding on to that might have been taking a lot of time to get to this point? Well, you know what? Here on the 12th, you might just see how this is going to manifest for you. So if you're listening to this a little early on, prior to the 12th, then try to get all on board with yourself and figure out what your true goals are, because this is the day that you want to launch it. And we got great supportive energies on this day from Venus, Uranus, and Saturn. Now, listen to that. Saturn, which is your backbone, it is your grounding. It is the anchor in your life. Saturn is also what you karmically are carrying or working towards or completing. It's giving you a strength and an anchor to express what? Well, the golden trine to Venus is love. Love and hope, but it's also money and the wealth that you're trying to create in your life. It's with Uranus showing that you're breaking free and out of the box, away from the chains that might have been holding you. Uranus will always bring unexpected news or events, surprises coming. Maybe we will end up surprising ourselves or our environment, or you can get some unexpected news. Whenever Uranus is present, we always want to try to tell ourselves to stay flexible, especially now for you Taurians, right? Let me just put that in here while we're talking. You like routine, right? You don't really like to change things up much once you've decided that certain things need to be a certain way, right? Well, you're in for it, because now with Uranus in your sign, you're going to get used to it. Some of you will adapt easily, right? And here's a good chance to do it with these beautiful aspects of Saturn and Venus helping you. For others, you might not really adapt to it, but you have a good 7 or 8 years to do so. It's a long transit of Uranus here in your sign. So Taurus, stay flexible. That is a direct message to you. But it goes for all of us, that whenever Uranus is active in our transits or in our charts, that we do want to try to stay as flexible as possible, because we can have certain goals, aims, and whatnot, and then suddenly the universe will give us a right angle, right? And we're going to have to shift our course. The more flexible we learn in life, it's a mindset, it's a consciousness. When we are flexible like grass, that you can step on grass and you can bounce right back up. It's like a cat always falling on its feet with the tail up. Be graceful about changes in your life. We only break if we are a twig or a stick, right? Uranus teaches us all about change. All of you earth signs, Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo, you're having this lesson in your life right now with Uranus now having moved into an earth sign. So you will be feeling this as well. This solar eclipse will be triggering whatever is taking place around these dates here. You'll be feeling it also, those of you born in earth signs. Not too much for you that are born in air signs. There's not too much going on. The only thing we see there right now is Mars, which is transiting through the sign of Aquarius. Mars right now is retrograde. It's not receiving any aspects here this day of the eclipse. It is retrograde, so it's really time for all of us, not just you Aquarians, but all of us have Mars in Aquarius right now somewhere in our personal charts. And when it's retrograde, we're looking at our energy levels. We may not have all that extended energy to, forge forward, because why? We're kind of looking at the things we've already accomplished, the goals that we have set out to do. And now it's really under this whole retrograde looking at taking time to go back, tweak, and do the things that we probably didn't have time to when Mars was cruising right along. There's always things that we might set aside or think we could do later. Well, now is later, right? So let's all be good about looking at where we've been from New Year's to this point and what can we now do, because a lot of you has had a lot of great new ideas maybe, or actions taking place in forging ahead in your life. Well, take some time to reflect on, is this the right direction? And if so, what can I do to improve it? There's a blessing in retrogrades. I know a lot of people don't really think they should like them, but personally, retrogrades to me has always been times of blessings, because it allows us to go in and create and go deeper, take on more, should I say, the things that we're working on. So if you could look at it as a blessing, you might start recognizing situations and people in your life coming back where you can now team up and work with and whatnot. So this is all good. And do recall, since it is retrograde in Aquarius, it's time to think outside of the box, not just linearly. You want to think dimensionally, interdimensionally. You are so much more than what you think you are. It's all about opening up that genius funnel, your crown chakras, taking it in, listening to your spirit guides, and paying attention to your dreams and intuitions. That's what we can get from Aquarius. It's all about the future. Even though Mars is retrograde relating to the past, the sign of Aquarius in itself is all about futuristic concepts. Since this is a reading for all of you, doesn't matter what sign you're born in, we're all experiencing Mars retrograde in this sign of Aquarius, and in all of your personal charts, it's there. All right, so you will be feeling this effect of the Aquarian energy, which is just genius. All right, so tune into and become your best friend with that genius aspect. Mercury is in Leo, so right now here at this time of the eclipse, we're kind of coming across with that pride, that sense of pride, beautiful pride that Leo has. We're communicating what we feel strongly about, how we want to present the things that we speak about, right? Mercury's all about communication, so we can sense that in our nature. Jupiter is not really receiving any aspects right now, but it's sitting there at 13 degrees in Scorpio, so that's not going to be the focal point. It's all about transformation, new beginnings, new start. It's the eclipse we're talking about, and that Plutonian energy can, if you work with it, allow you to really now take a major leap of faith, transform who you are, who you've been, into who you are becoming, right? We're all in the sense of becoming. What do you want to become? Now, yes, it can stir some fears, because Pluto goes deep, like I said, into the core. So listen to your fears. Sometimes it's like going out on a big stage and we have stage fright, but you know what? That nervousness can actually stimulate some of the greatest things too. So don't fear it, embrace it, and then look at what's going to be uncovered between now, on the 12th, 1 month from now, to August 12th, which aligns with the next eclipse coming on the 11th, right? But then also what you have been able to accomplish and achieve 6 months from now. That's the duration of this eclipse, and how it's going to be working for you to really, really grow and transform your life. So new beginnings, new chapters in your own book of life right now, and then pay attention. The greatest time to grow this is the next 14 days, which will bring you to and align you with the lunar eclipse, the total lunar eclipse on the 27th, okay? And then be prepared that that eclipse is going to be shutting certain doors, but you might want to go and listen to that video right now to see how you can implement this in your life. And in the meanwhile, listen, my tribe, it's good to connect with you again, and I hope you're all doing really well, and hopefully we'll be posting some more videos here in not too long. Right?